Oh,
Hi friends, welcome to this week's class of Dead Funny University. I am your host and fellow student Kelsey, and this is the 19th episode in our Zelda semester, in case you couldn't tell from the episode title, I suppose. Teaching us this semester, as he has been for every class so far, is our good friend Chris. How are you doing today, Chris?
Doing good. Doing good. Excited to wrap up the end of the mask here so we can move on to going on and taking down Majora.
Yeah. So, now last time we left off, we had finished all of the masks except for a set that we were going to do with a side quest kind of thing. So is that where we're jumping in right now? Is with the side quest?
Yeah, so this side quest is actually probably one of the most, in my opinion, one of the most detailed side quests they've ever done in a Zelda game. And what is actually cool about this one is that you cannot do any other quest but this quest on this run through as far as between the days. This quest literally starts out on the dawn of the first day and ends at the last 2 minutes of the third day. You cannot do any other quest because so many things happen other quest wise, and that's the reason why I wanted to do this way, because I've now explained all these other masks and how you get them. Some of those come into play that you'll notice as we go through this story, and if you actually go and get those, try to do those masks at the same time as this, it will actually stop you from being able to do the side quest. You can get them and then rewind back to the first day and then do this quest completely fine. But at any point you try to do those mask quests during this run through of this quest, it will stop this quest completely and you'll completely lose it.
Huh. I don't quite understand how that'll work, so my guess is you'll explain it to me.
Plot, but yeah. We'll get there too. Some of the stuff, like I said, it will make sense when we get there. But yeah. But so yeah, we're gonna jump into A Love Story is the name of the side quest. Yep, A Love Story. So just to kind of go ahead and throw this back up there so that way you've got this in front of you. As we talked about when we went through our masks, we discussed all of them, but the Keaton mask, the cafe mask, the sun, the moon, the couples, and the postman's hat. All of those are the last remaining masks that we have left to do in this game. That aren't the transforming ones, aka Fierce Deity. So yeah, we will go ahead and start out there. So the way I broke this down for this episode is I did it by the times. And the reason why I did that was because for anybody who's listening at home, you have to do this by the time. If you miss any single one of these appointments, the quest is failed. This thing is so time sensitive, it's ridiculous. Like, I'm not joking you here. You have to be at these specific spots at these specific times to see these things go down. And whenever there's like really hardcore ones that you physically can't miss, I'll reiterate this so that way we keep that fresh in our mind. But
now,
love story, go ahead.
when you say times, like, do you mean like day
6
one,
a.m.,
6
10
a.m.?
a.m.
Okay.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, got it.
Yep.
Cool. Go into it.
So, and on Majora's Mask, I know you haven't played it, and for those of you who haven't played it or wanting to play it, you're going to look for possibly using this as basically a walkthrough, which is more than fun to do. At the bottom, basically, you have like a little half clock, kind of like a little dial that goes from 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. and then it reverts back over, and it just keeps going around at your clock. So, or from 12 to 12. Sorry, I don't know why I said 6. No, it is 6. I don't know. Either way,
yeah,
you'll figure it out when you get there. You'll see it. Yeah, it's 6 to 6. So, so yeah, a love story. So, dawn of the first day. When looking at this mask, you see the clock tower where it's going out towards South Clock Town is where we always start. That's where you come walking out of the clock tower every single dawn of the first day. Whenever you reset time, that's where you start out. This character that we see walking out is coming from the laundry pool, and it's coming down those stairs right there at the edge of South Clocktown. There is actually a mailbox down there, and they're going to drop off a letter. It's just the first thing that you see as soon as you spawn. You haven't started any quest or anything whatsoever. As soon as you spawn in, that is the first thing that you see. And then just so that way you could see it, just in case you wanted to, that is what the mailboxes look like in the game. And a little bit of of a little hint of what we're going to be getting into, but all that will make sense later. Anyways, so we see this mysterious character walking down. This mysterious character has long purple hair and is wearing a mask. That mask might look familiar to our chart there. It's called the Keaton mask, and we'll get a little bit more into that later. But we see this character walking down, dropping off a letter into the mailbox. Now, other than that, what you want to do, or once you see that, you want to run directly over to the mayor's office. You have to be there by 10 a.m. If you head over to the mayor's office, once again, looking at our map here, I think, yeah, mayor's office is 10, so that's over all the way at the top of East Clocktown. So you just want to run straight through, head straight up to East Clocktown, top East Clocktown, and hit the mayor's office. Once the mayor's office opens at 10 a.m., you will actually see a familiar face. I would like to say our friend, but we all know him and probably more hate him than love him. But our good buddy Gorman goes walking into the mayor's office at 10 o'clock. You want to head straight to the left and you will find Madam Aroma's office is her name. Madam Aroma.
That is not a name you want.
No, it's not. And this is the lovely Madam Aroma. But yeah, if you go over to the left, you'll find her office. And she is in there with another familiar face, which is the band leader of the Indigogos, which we, went through all that with, or not the leader, but the manager, the band manager of the Indigogos. So we went through all that during the whole Great Bay saga. And what's actually cool is there's some behind the scenes stuff, but we'll talk about that in a little bit, that kind of lead up to how a couple different masks, or not a couple, one of the different masks were grabbed from the milk bar. Like I said, a lot of these collide together, which is pretty cool. So when you get to her office, she will ask you if you are the professional that she hired to find her missing son. He has been missing for a month, and his name is Cafe. Accept this quest, and she will award you with the first mask that we get from this quest. First mask that we get from this quest is the Cafe. Now, this mask obviously extremely looks like something that we just saw, which is completely fine. It's not a secret. It's very telling, but looks extremely familiar to something. But we'll discover it when we get there. Anyways, so you get this mask. And basically the reason why you get this is Link is not a talker, as we've talked about. So if you wear this mask and go and start conversations with people, they will talk about the fact that it reminds them of Cafe and the last place they saw them. So that way you could possibly pick up clues to be able to find out where Cafe is, if he's missing, or where he's gone, and if he's possibly dead. If you head to the back room, you'll actually find his journal. This is not part of the quest, but it just kind of helps, fill in some blanks for you if you like story and stuff like that. If you go to the back room, you'll find his journal. His last entry explains how he had actually finished his wedding mask and had hoped that Anju had finished hers also. But he knows that she tends to do things last minute, so most likely not. And about how he was super excited to go down to the milk bar and show off his wedding mask to all the guys and talk about his lover. That's his last entry.
That's so cute.
Right? Such a sweet guy. So you come walking out of the back room, or if you've already left at this point, if you stay and hang around until 11 o'clock, Gorman will walk into Aroma's office for his appointment. It's actually, like I said, cool little background thing going on in the back is that he goes to talk to her about the music performance that's going to happen, and she tells him that the music performance has actually been canceled. When he asks why, that's whenever our Zora guy here tells you that the Indigogos are not going to be performing due to the fact that Lulu has lost her voice. Remember, we went through all this. That leads to why he was in the milk bar that night crying, and gives you that mask, the troop leader's mask, whenever you get all your different pieces up there and play that song. Leads directly into that. Pretty cool, right? So at 11 to 11:30, so basically directly leaving the mayor's office. Like I said, you can watch this if you want to, but you don't have to. At 11 to 11:30, you want to head directly over to the Stock Pot Inn. Once again, referring to our mask, it's in East Clock Town. It's literally as soon as you walk out, you're going to go down the stairs directly to your right. 11 right there is the Stock Pot Inn. The Stock Pot Inn is ran by a lovely woman named Anju. Anju is a very familiar name, considering the fact that we just talked about it in a journal, and we've actually seen her once before. Whenever the milk deliveries were delivered, we had heard Anju's name. So this is the Stock Pot Inn. And once again, I tried to find, and someone did actually make, which people are just so awesome. Internet's great. So someone did actually make kind of a top-down view of what the inside of the Stock Pot Inn looks like. Now, it's not the best. Once again, this is something that somebody completely made. They put in some time, so I'm not going to knock it because I definitely would have never done this. So for our purposes, it's perfect for us to use. So as soon as you look at the bottom right there, that's the entryway moving into the checkout counter. If you go around or what looks straight through that hallway to the back on the bottom floor, it's going to lead you very far back left is the kitchen. And the first room right there on the right is actually her grandmother's room. We've talked about Anju's grandmother for, once again, that's where the name comes from, about she was the one that was reading us the stories that we had to get the all-nighters mask to be able to stay up and hear all of her stories, so that way she rewards us with a heart. That's where that comes into play. We head upstairs. That is Anju's room. The middle room, I think, is just got like random stuff in it. I think it's kind of like a common area. And then the last room is the one that people rent out to sleep in, because this is an inn. So that is the Stock Pot Inn. As I said, 11 to 11:30, you want to head over to Stock Pot Inn and find Anju in the back making lunch and bringing it to her grandmother. Here you will witness a back and forth between the two. And then once again, here's her grandmother who has the wheelchair that looks like it's built for fucking war.
Not only that, but the grandmother looks like she was built for war too. Like that woman
Right?
has seen men die. She has commanded them
Yeah.
to die, and she felt
She has
things
seen
for
some
that.
shit.
Yeah, definitely. And she's got that big old cowlick on the side. Like there's a war story behind that cowlick.
Oh yeah, sure. She's
Promise
got
you.
stories to tell you, that's for sure. So if you could stay up long enough with the all-nighters mask, you'll be able to hear them all. So as I said, you get to hear a little bit of a back and forth between the two. The grandmother keeps referring to her as Tortoise, which is Anju's grandfather or Andrew's father. Anju, not Andrew, Anju's father, and claiming that she has already eaten. They go back and forth until Anju says that she finally gives up. You can eat the food or not eat the food. And then the grandmother lets out a whew. Anju then asks her what that means, and the grandmother plays it off as that she was getting ready to tell a story. Anju then walks out with the food. After Anju leaves, you can read the grandmother's diary where she says Anju's cooking shortens her life and that she has she has an idea of how to get out of eating her awful food. So obviously that was a ruse by the grandmother to act like she's senile to get out of, the eating her awful food that her granddaughter makes for her. What she eats in the meantime to keep her going, no fucking clue. But yeah, I thought that was kind of interesting that you could read the diary and it's her literally being like, "Yeah, no, your
I
food's
don't
disgusting. I'd
I
rather
can't
just
eat
starve
this.
myself to
Oh my god.
death." hmm Anyways, so 2 p.m. we head out, go to the front desk. Now, there is a song that you can play that slows down time. There's also a song that you can play that will jump you forward. I think it's like every 6 hours. So don't just think that you can just use that song because it will fuck you over. You will miss some of these timelines. Some of them you can use, some of them I don't. The only times I really recommend using the song that will lead you forward is whenever you're done for the day and you're trying to get to the dawn of the next day versus waiting through 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock in the morning. There's only one part of this quest, and I think it's at the end of the second night that requires you to be up that late. And honestly, you can actually skip out on that part and it not mess up the quest. So other than that, I wouldn't use any songs. I definitely wouldn't slow down time because there's a lot of shit to do. Some of this is waiting around, but once again, that just gives you time to go to shops and buy stuff, go out, kill stuff, farm some rupees, whatever you want to do. Just don't miss these deadlines. Anyways, 2 p.m. Head over to the front desk to see the postman deliver a message to Anju. She will ask him where it came from, but he just keeps saying the post office box. He doesn't know what box each of these letters come from, but she just keeps insisting that he tell her exactly which box this comes from. This is the postman. And
That's a look.
that is a look, I know, right? But it seems very weird that she keeps asking where it came from. Once he leaves, put on the cafe mask and talk to her. She will then acknowledge that you are also looking for him. She tells you to meet her at 11:30 p.m. in the kitchen. She believes that she has a clue that will help you find Cafe. Which is weird because you think if she had a clue, she'd be looking for him herself. Anyways, so
She's too
if you
busy
speak
cooking.
to her, right? If you speak to her again as Link, this is the funny part. If you speak to her again as Link, you can get a room. If you don't get a room, she will kick you out by 8 p.m. The funny thing is that they are all reserved up. There's already a room there reserved for Link in the afternoon. Weird, right? This is where it's funny. You can take that key if you want to. Now, if you don't want to reserve a room, there is a staircase outside that will get you to the roof. There's a door upstairs that leads out to the outside balcony. If you get on that outside balcony, you can access that door after hours. You just can't access the front door. So if you don't want to reserve a room, you don't have to. You can go up through there. I say go ahead and reserve the room because it's funny. But basically, she says, "Oh, I do see that we have a room here reserved for Mr. Link. Here's your key." So then she gives you your nice little room key here, and then you're good to go. You can kind of explore that room. There's like 100 rupees in there, which is another reason why to get the room key, because then you can get free rupees, which that would be nice if every hotel was like that. They paid you $100 to stay there. That'd be great. But that's not how hotels work. Anyways,
For obvious reasons.
yeah, exactly. So if you reserve that, I think it's around like 3 p.m. So an hour later, this lovely gentleman comes walking in, which is the Goron postman. And his name is also Link because he was named after his ancestors told him a hero of time, hint, hint. So a different Link, and named him Link. So, but he always says Goro Goro after every sentence. So he says, I'm here to pick up, or I'm here to check in for the reservation for Link Goro Goro. So she thinks that's his last name. And she goes, well, I don't have a reservation for Link Goro Goro. I have something close to that, but not that. And he goes, I could have swore I made a reservation for here Goro Goro, but I guess I didn't. So I'll sleep outside Goro Goro. And then he goes outside and sleeps outside. So basically, you stole his room.
With a poor sweet Goron.
So he goes outside to sleep outside. Anyways, so so basically you got some time to kill here. At 11:30, you want to make sure you start heading, or at 11, start heading down to the kitchen. At 11:30, you'll meet Anju in the kitchen, and she talks to you, and she goes out. She heads down there obviously to talk to you. She tells you that she knows this letter is from Cafe, which is weird that she is getting a letter from a missing person. Or she points that out. That's weird that she's getting a letter from a missing person. She then comes up with a plan to get a letter delivered to the exact same mailbox. How? Plot, because he didn't write a return address or anything on it. Exactly. So when you see him come and get the letter, then you can find out if it's truly Cafe or not. She asked you to tell him that she is still waiting for him, and tell her how he looked because she is too scared to go herself. So she will ask you to go in her place. You have to accept this to continue the quest. Duh. But you have an option, yes or no. Accept it, continue the quest. Put the mail into the box right away. She tells you to do it in the morning. You have the option to do it in the morning. Just do it right away. Just walk right outside, put the mail in the box so you don't forget. Once again, if you miss this deadline, which is basically as soon as you get up in the morning, the postman comes running by, you will fuck up this quest. Just go right outside, put in the mailbox. Even better reason, if I had to entice you anymore to do it now, if you go outside and put it out, right next to the mailbox is sleeping Goron. You get to see him sleeping. You could talk to him while he's asleep. He sleep talks and says, I think it's going to rain tomorrow, which it does rain the next day. So there you go.
I love
How he
everything
knows that in
about
his
that.
sleep, he does.
That's amazing. I love that.
Exactly, right? So then we go on to the second day. So before I move on to the second day, Kelsey, are there any questions so far or anything you feel I need to clarify on?
No, you're being extraordinarily thorough. So far, I'm
I'm trying.
following. I'm loving it. Keep going.
All right, fantastic.
Actually,
So,
I'm lying. I'm
Dawn,
lying. I'm
go.
lying. I'm lying. I lied to you.
Damn it,
I
Kelsey.
am the worst. Okay, so Cafe looks very much like the person that we saw in the mask dropping the thing off. We all know that. We get
Imagine
that.
that.
Imagine that. That person looks very tiny.
Hmm.
Very, very tiny. And
Compared to her. Yeah,
yes,
that's fair.
is there a size difference here, a height difference, or an age difference of any kind?
We are going to find out more information on that in the second day.
Then I will keep my mouth shut and please move on.
All right, fantastic. So, dawn of the second day, 6 a.m. Head directly over to the laundry pool. This is the longest time I think you have to wait. So, honestly, if you want to go do some other stuff, you can do some other stuff. You really don't have to be here until 3 p.m., but you can kind of mess around at the laundry pool. There's a fairy there to catch, which we talked about with the Great Fairy to get the Great Fairy's mask. You can do that. It won't fuck up the quest. Once again, as long as you're there for 3 p.m. So you can get that. There's also the whole frog thing going on. So if you have the frog mask at that point, this is where the frogs do their whole little song. You can do that. Or like I said, you can go, farm and hunt for rubies and all that fun stuff. So wait till 3 p.m. for the postman to show up. You will notice that there is actually a sign outside with a bell on it. So I tried to find some pictures. This is the best I could do. But as soon as you walk into the laundry pool, this is the uh, hold on one second. There we go. This is what the view looks like, and it has that sign with the bell on it right there. That little sign. You kind of really can't see the bell. You see the fairy in the background though. But that's what it looks like walking into. And then I have another picture right here taken from the opposite direction. So against that wall back there is a sidewalk. It's taken to where if you were viewing towards the left, that's a bridge that connects over to that sidewalk. So where the postman is his back is towards where we were just looking at.
Mhm.
And then you cross that, and it's a long walkway that goes straight down to a door. That door is locked, but that sign has a bell on it. If you hit that bell, it will ring, and then you will see this mysterious man with the mask come outside, look around, doesn't see a postman, and then goes back inside. If you try to run all the way over to confront this man who obviously put this letter in the mail, you will not be able to get to him in enough time. He will go back inside, he will close the door, he will lock the door, and you can't talk to him. So we need to wait till 3 p.m. When 3 p.m. hits, the mailman comes. He delivers this nice looking envelope. And while he's doing that, this is our chance to put on the bunny hood if you have it. If you don't, you can still make it without the bunny hood. I just like to promote the bunny hood because it's fucking amazing. But if you have the bunny hood, throw it on, and you can run and sneak inside of his house before he has a chance to get back in. This is the only way to get in to confront this man. You sneak inside. It's a little long hallway. I couldn't find a map of this. A little long hallway with a staircase that goes up. You go up the staircase, and there's one bedroom. You sit there and you wait. And it takes about an hour for him to get back inside. So 4 p.m. So from 3 p.m. to 4 p.m. 4 p.m. Once he comes upstairs, confront him as Link, not wearing the cafe mask. You can wear any other mask, just not the cafe mask. He then says out loud, "Green hat, green clothes. Anju mentioned you in her letter. You are the one looking for Cafe. Can you keep a secret?" Once again, you have an option. Say yes to continue the quest. Say no if you don't want to do the quest anymore. Whatever. Your gameplay, not mine. But say yes. He then says, Andrew trusted you, so shall I, and removes the mask and reveals that he is obviously Cafe. You confront him, and he tells you that he is Cafe. Um, Tell our fairy, in case you forgot, then says to Cafe, they are looking, or the Cafe we are looking for is an adult. You were just a child. He then says that he was actually turned into child form by a strange imp wearing a mask. Sound familiar?
Uh-huh.
Majora! But he is not hiding because he looks this way. He had immediately went to the Great Fairy at the North Gate to see if she could help. On the way, a prancing man with a grinning face, once again, somebody that should sound very familiar to us, stole the wedding mask that he had on him at the time. He promised Anju that he would meet up with her with the wedding mask and cannot do so without it for their wedding ceremony. So, just in case we forgot, there's Seikon,
Dick.
our thief. Yeah, exactly. Tell then calls him careless like Link. Tell's just a jackass right now. Cafe replies, before my wedding ceremony, I was very happy. I was a target because of what I had been turned into. Tell then says that she takes pity on him. He says he cannot go meet Anju, not without wearing the mask he promised he would greet her with. Then he gives a pendant for you to give to Anju and asks you to keep his secret from everyone. So at this point, you can immediately head over to Anju, give her the pendant, and do not. Once again, every part of this quest is time sensitive. This part you can kind of take your time on. You don't really want to because at 5 p.m. you kind of be needing to do the next thing, or not 5 p.m. but 9 p.m. you kind of need to be the next thing. So don't dilly dally too long. At this point, it should be around like 5 o'clock ish. So 5 p.m. we'll go run over, hand the pendant to Anju. And she automatically says, oh my God, this is from Cafe. And that's it. She doesn't question you anymore. She just says it's from Cafe. Yeah, it's weird. You'd think she would ask you 1,000 fucking questions at that point, but apparently not.
Yeah, hang
So
on. Did he just disappear? Did he ever tell her, like, this is what happened to me, we'll get married when I can see you kind of thing? I'm
he just
assuming
disappeared.
so. Well, he's been sending her letters, so I'm gonna
He's been
guess
sending
there's
her
something in
letters,
there.
but we don't. Yeah, so she knows that he's okay and that he's alive. She just doesn't know where he's at. So she knows that it's from Cafe, but she just doesn't know where he's at. So
God.
no one knows that he's running around with this Keaton mask on.
Man, he
Anyway.
better be writing great letters because I'm thinking if Scott disappeared the day that we were supposed to get married
Well,
and
not yet. Not yet. The day they're supposed to get married, they're supposed to trade their vows and their wedding mask the exact moment that the carnival starts. The carnival of Clocktown, they call it the Carnival of Time, starts at midnight on the third day, which is when you have to go fight Majora or reverse time to go back to the dawn of the first day. So
okay.
basically, when the moon goes to make contact with the earth, is when the carnival is supposed to start. There are some people, which is also really cool because I didn't really talk about this much, but there's a lot of controversy in the actual game itself about people who are calling other people moronic and stupid for still wanting to do the festival. And then there are other people who are saying this is going to be our last chance to live. We might as well, party while we can,
Yeah.
which is kind of, I kind of agree with the other people that they're being moronic because there's also other thought process outside, which is that the moon is only going to destroy Clocktown. But then at the same time, there's
Yep.
also other people outside, like on Romney Ranch, for instance, the guy with the chickens who believes that it's going to destroy the entire Earth. So it's kind of back and forth. So I guess I guess I shouldn't say I necessarily agree with them, but it's interesting to I don't know. I mean, at some point, whenever you think about it, if I thought the moon was going to kill the entire Earth, fuck it, why not go out with a bang? But
Which
if I thought there was any chance to possibly if the moon's going to hit this side of the Earth, if there's a chance I can get all the way on the other side, am I less likely to die? If I had 3 days to take a plane to get all the way to the other
no.
side of the earth, I
No.
might do that.
You're
You know what I
equally as
mean?
likely to die. There is no getting out
Most
of it.
likely, yes, exactly. So, yeah,
Just to
exactly.
speak for the astrological bodies there for a second.
But yeah, so back to it. So
Astron
yeah, like I said, he
astronomy,
didn't
not
leave.
astrology. I'm so sorry. I have to fix
Fair.
that. Astronomy
No,
is
you're
real,
good.
astrology is not. Done.
So, like I said, their actual wedding ceremony was going to be on that night to clear that up. So 9 p.m. If you stay in your room, there's actually a wall that has a little bit of the wallpaper pulled up, and you can press your ear to it, and you'll hear a conversation going on in Andrew's room. Which, if we go back to our actual map layout, there is completely unrealistic because there is a room in between those two rooms. So, actually, you know what? No, you have to go in that room to do it. Yeah, because there's the wallpaper. The wallpaper is the green wallpaper. So never mind. It's not unrealistic. So if you go in the common area and you look where right as soon as you walk in the door directly to the right, the wallpaper's ripped up a little bit. You can put your ear against the wood there and hear a conversation that's going on. It is a conversation with Anju and her mother. Her mother talks about heading to Romney Ranch with Crema when she comes to drop off her which that matches up with when we did this the quest ourselves. It was the second night when you showed up to get the milk mask and go down there and all that fun stuff. She's going to leave with Krima to head back to Romney Ranch. The reason why is because there are rumors that Krima and Cafe ran off to Romney Ranch together. Krima is Anju's best friend. Once again, for those of you who
Oh.
don't remember, Krima is the older sister. Krima is Anju's best friend, and Anju doesn't believe it's so. The mother wants to go just to make sure because once again, this goes into that controversy of they think Cafe believes that if the moon was to crash, it's only going to destroy Clocktown. It's not destroy anything outside. So he went to the ranch to leave, and this is his chance to get into a new relationship because obviously Andrew's going to be sitting there waiting for him to come back because he wrote a letter saying that he would be back, and that she'll just die there, and then he can start a new life with Krima. Is basically the mother's thought process.
God, the mother does not have a positive image of this guy. This marriage is not going to go well. Just
Not
saying.
only that, but one of the things that she says, so that's Andrew's mother, by the way. One of the things that she does say is that you don't need to be sad about this. Why would you want to be in a relationship with somebody that would run off with someone else? You're just going to end up unhappy, just like your mother is. So,
Okay, so she's got
apparently
her
she's
own
there.
trauma that she is just
Her own
straight up
baggage,
like
yes.
she's just projecting
Correct.
onto this situation with absolutely no
Correct.
evidence that it's real. And
Zero.
all right, mom needs to go to a therapist, and that's good for her to do. And Andrew needs to be left alone because Andrew's got a pretty good bead on what's going on right now, actually.
Especially the fact that you just gave her the pendant, so that helps her. Now, for Andrew to be, this is the interesting part though. If you do not give Andrew the pendant in time, this is where it can all derail right here. She will not be waiting for Cafe at the end, and she will actually be talked in to going to Romney Ranch with her mother. The
Problem.
pendant is the reason. No, there's no probably 100%.
No
She does
problem.
leave if you do not. Oh yeah, problem exactly. So if you do not, I thought he was like probably. I'm like, what are you talking about, Kelsey?
Bitch, don't second guess me.
I was fucking teaching you the game. Jesus Christ. No. Anyways, so yeah, because she has the pendant, and obviously it means something to her, and she knows it's from him. That's the reason why she stays in her and lets her mother just go by herself. But yeah, so like I said, Krima is Anju's best friend. The mother's reasonings, obviously, as well, is that she knows Krima is currently looking for a husband, and there are rumors that he would be leaving, obviously mainly due to the moon to crash into Clocktown. But Krima knows that if she was to be with someone who has, royalty-ish type family, Madame Amor, her favor would help the business to keep the ranch from going under.
Ah,
Another, conspiracy theory the mother has thought up at this point.
mom's got
So
trauma.
you can, right, you can listen to this. You can completely not listen to this. Either way, it's not going to affect the story. It's just a cool little thing to do, so that way you keep getting more insider information. Because if you're doing this quest just to get the mask, sure, this is all a waste of time. If you're doing this quest because you genuinely are interested in the story, it's cool that they put in these. Basically, the people who have made Zelda have done a really good job of, like, we understand there are people that are just here to play this game and get done with it, so that way it's another Zelda off their checklist. And then there's people here that are here to play this game and enjoy every aspect they can. They give you clear options to opt out on a lot of this dialogue due to, if you're not one to do it, you're not one to do it, or for speedrunners or stuff like that, which I think is pretty cool. I listen to it every time because I fucking love the story. But anyways, moving on. At this point, we need to head over to the Curiosity Shop. We have not been to the Curiosity Shop yet. I believe it's over in West Clocktown. Let's see here on our map. Yep, Curiosity Shop is number 6, first one. If you're coming out of South Clocktown, going into West Clocktown, it's the first shop right there on your left. You want to head over to the Curiosity Shop. Here again is another cutscene we're going to see where you don't need to see it, but it gives you a lot of information. We go to the Curiosity Shop. It was 9 p.m. when we were listening to that story. It's probably roughly going to be 10 p.m. by the time you get out. You want to be there by 12. The cut and inside, hiding behind these boxes to the right, at 12:30 is when the cutscene will take place. If you're out in front, the person who's going to walk into the shop will turn around and leave. The cutscene will not happen if the person sees you. The person is Sakon. Imagine that. He wouldn't want other people to be around whenever he comes in with his baggies of stolen goodies. So Sakon shows up at the shop with the bomb bag he stole from the old lady. Once again, you have to let the old lady get mugged, because if you stop her from getting mugged, Sakon will not show up with this bag of goodies, and therefore this quest will not continue. You have to let the old lady get robbed in order for this quest to continue. Walks in with the stolen bag from the old lady. He sells his bags of goods to the shop for 50 rubies. Originally, the shopkeep told him he wanted 100. Sakon argued up to 200. The shopkeep talked about the fact that obviously he buys and sells stolen goods because he's a dick. He thinks he's doing it for the good of the people, which once again, he's not. He's a dick. So he says, I'm going to buy them from you for 50 rupees, or I can go over there and tell the bomb people all about you, where you stay at, and why you have their bomb bag.
Yeah.
So Sakon just says, fuck it, gets the 50 rupees, and then gets all pissy about it. You leave. Sakon literally will not leave the store if you're still there. At this point, you can leave. He doesn't react to you leaving, anything like that. You just walk out of the store and leave. Now we're moving into the dawn of the third day. Once again, before I move forward, Kelsey, any questions at this point?
Before I just say no, I'm going to look back and make sure there aren't any actual questions. I don't think so. Go ahead.
Okay, so moving on. At this point, I'd like to recap. We have gotten the cafe mask officially given to us. We have seen the Keaton mask. We have seen the postman's hat. We have not seen the lunar mask, the sun mask, or the couple's mask. So just a mask update. That's where we're at so far. Like I said, all these other masks happen within the side quest. Just giving an update. Here we are, down to the third day, in case you're like, Chris, where the fuck are these other masks at you said I was going to get? We're getting there. Anyways, down to the third day, head over to the laundry pool. Once again, you got a lot of time to kill here because this doesn't start until 1 p.m. At 1 p.m., Cafe's house will be unlocked. You can enter in there, and whenever you go inside, you don't find Cafe, but who you do find is the Curiosity Shop's owner, which is this guy, this weird guy.
Oh boy.
Oh boy, exactly. Is it just me, or does it feel like his bulge is very
I mean, did he
much
shove a grenade down
focused
there?
right there? Okay, so it's not just me.
Not
Fantastic.
just you. And it doesn't look in any way, shape, or form to be related to anatomy. It looks like he's just using it like a spare wallet. Like he's
Maybe that's where he keeps his rupee sack. Who knows?
ew. 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 Next,
Anyways,
please.
so the Curiosity Shop owner will be there, and he states that he has known Cafe since he was little, and that he was very surprised whenever he saw this Keaton mask walk into his shop because he knew exactly who it was due to the fact that he gave Cafe the Keaton mask whenever he was a kid. He was very confused to see that Cafe had been turned into a kid, but wanted to help him out with his situation. So he doesn't know why he wants to do it, but he feels that at this point, he wants to give you the Keaton mask because Cafe is no longer using it. So this is how you get the Keaton mask. Now, a little backstory has nothing to do with Majora's Mask, but in Ocarina of Time, we didn't really go over it because it's not that big a deal. But if you try to, you can actually find Keaton in one of the towns. And basically, he's like a Riddler fox. So that's where the mask comes from.
I love
Keaton
it.
is actually in Ocarina of Time. And he just tells you riddles. Nothing
Now,
else besides that.
if I remember correctly, and man, I hope there's somebody in the comments that can confirm, I think there is a multi-tailed fox that is part of Japanese, I think, mythology that is a
Yep.
Riddler, kind of like the phoenix is in Western culture. Same kind
Right.
of thing.
I can't remember what the name of the creature is, but yeah, he's often compared to like a Loki-ish type god,
I
if
think
you
it's
will, or
Ninetales, but
mythical.
yeah.
Yeah, it is Ninetales. Yeah, it's where the Pokemon is based off of as well. Yeah, so he gives you the mask. He says that last night, or yeah, he gives you the mask and then gives you a letter that Cafe wants you to deliver to his mom. Then the shopkeep tells you that after Saikon was finally leaving, Cafe saw him leaving the store, turned red, and chased him out of Clocktown and followed him. He knows that Saikon lives somewhere in Icona Canyon. We've talked about Icona Canyon before. That's where all the thieves live, like with the Garos with the black robe or the brown robes and the dual knives and stuff. That's where all thieves live, is in Icona Canyon. It's kind of like the wild, wild west out there. So immediately you want to head to Icona Canyon and help Cafe out. Once you get to Iconic Canyon, you just kind of like look around. You'll see there's a little Deku flower that has like a little shopkeep, a little Deku shopkeep sitting outside of it. If you move past him, you'll see this rock that looks oddly out of place compared to the rest of the mountain that it's supposed to be connected to. It's a rock trap door, or not trap door, a rock door. On the other, or right next to it, is a pile of rocks. If you go behind those pile of rocks, you'll see Cafe there. So yeah, he'll be hiding behind some rocks in front of the cave. He tells you that this is Seikon's hideout and that his mask has got to be in there. There's a rock door that only Seikon knows how to open. So you are waiting for him to show up so you can ambush him. Very important. This is not a time to like fuck around. You cannot leave this area. This happens at 1 p.m. is whenever you went into the house, probably about 2 p.m. by the time that you're heading out to go find Cafe, maybe even 3 to 4 by the time you find him, depending on how long it takes you to get through Iconic Canyon. Very important that you were behind these rocks at 5, no later than 5:30. Very important. Seikon comes up at about 6 p.m. If he sees you, he will run away, and the quest has failed from that point on. He cannot see you. So just stay right next to Cafe. There's like a rock like this and then a rock like that. You should be hiding behind both. So right where they both connect, behind both. He can't see you. Once he arrives and opens the door, you run in behind him before it closes. As you move in, you finally see sitting there in front of you Cafe's wedding mask. Now, it looks familiar, as we obviously have seen it on our mask thing, but Cafe's wedding mask is the sun mask. No surprise there, right? Which would mean that Anju's wedding mask is the moon mask. So,
But you said they give them to
you
each other?
Well,
So
that's
then
that's like their vows. That's what they do for their vows. They give each other their mask.
so then she's has in her possession the sun mask?
She has in her possession the moon mask. This is the sun
Currently.
mask that we just found. Yes. Well, she's supposed to. They're supposed to make their mask before their wedding. Remember the
And
journal
then
entry?
trade them.
He was so excited that he finished his mask. He didn't know she had finished hers. So if she is still planning on going forward with the wedding, which once again, third day at 12 a.m. is whenever the tower drops and the fireworks go off, that's when they're supposed to get married and switch the mask. So she should have it ready by now, potentially, unless she is really, really trying to be like, you know what, I got 6 hours, I'll get the mask done.
I'm
You
most
know what I
creative
mean?
in the last few minutes.
So, I mean, Cafe did say she's normally used to doing stuff last minute, so who knows? But anyways, so you run in, you see that the sun mask is in a glass. As soon as you move forward, you see that as soon as you walk in, you are on a pressure plate. The pressure plate activates a conveyor, and the mask starts getting pulled back. This is where I want to be clear. The sun mask and the moon mask are weird to me. From what I was able to read, I do not remember these masks. So if I'm wrong, this will be your time to prove me wrong in the comments. I don't remember these masks in the original game, but I also don't remember how the Lover's Quest finishes in the original game besides just reuniting them back together. I think there was a lot more hesitation, and you had to talk him into meeting up with her to finish. The story I'm going off of is the one that I think viewers at home will be more likely to play, which is the 3D remastered version that came out on the 3DS. These two masks were added. This entire spill right here I do not remember at all, and I looked it up and I could not find out anywhere at all where it said this was part of the original Nintendo 64 game. So if I'm wrong, please not only tell me I'm wrong, but also tell me where to find this information because I do not remember these masks. But once again, Nintendo 64 is a very, very, very long time ago, so I could have forgotten. Doubt it, but I could have forgotten. Anyways, there's a conveyor belt that pulls the sun mask all the way through, I think it's like 3 or 4 rooms, and it's going to drop it into lava, and then it's just destroyed forever. You
Probably.
have to move between Link and Cafe going through 2 different sides of the room on 2 different sides of the conveyor belts, hitting these switches to get all the way to the end to stop it from falling down. From what I was able to read, because once again, I don't remember any of this, do not hit any red switches, only hit the blue switches. If you hit the red switches, it speeds the conveyor belt up. Only hit the blue switches to try to get to the end to get the mask and then get the fuck out of there. By the time you get this mask, it will be 12 a.m. So this is the last, like, whenever it hits 12 a.m., the pin, the very top of this wooden thing falls down from the clock tower. All these fireworks go off. The carnival starts. The moon is right there. And there's something else that I don't think I talked to you about yet. But whenever the moon on that last day is there, it's like every other hour, the whole game shakes because the moon is, just slowly breaking in closer and closer. So the whole game shakes for like a couple of seconds just to remind you of like, you're going to die. So, anyways, anyways, so whenever 12 a.m. hits, you have 5 minutes left in the game. And that's it. To get to Clock Tower, go up and confront Majora or reverse time. Cafe says he has to get back and see Anju now that he has the mask. You still, at this point, have to deliver the message to his mother. So what you want to do is teleport back to town, which you can do so if you've talked to all the owl statues that we talked about. You can use those to teleport. Once you see an owl statue, it kind of just tells you what part of town you're in, and then it's forever on your mini map. You can use the Song of Flight, and you could teleport to different owl statues across. Once again, you can also teleport to Iconic Canyon whenever you're going out there to help Cafe with this. I don't think I said that whenever we're going through, but there you go. Now you know that too. So that being said, you want to go out there and if we look on our map again here, we'll see the post office is number 2. So West Clocktown at the top of it, you want to go up there to the post office and you'll actually see the postman in the back. And he's talking about how everybody else is planning on leaving. He wants to leave, but it's not on the schedule for him to be able to evacuate, that he still has to be there for deliveries tomorrow. So he can't leave. And he's kind of like on his knees. It looks like he's fucking crying, honestly.
Oh.
So you give him the priority mail and he puts on his hat and he goes, I have to finish my job. So he goes to deliver the message to Cafe's mom. Cafe's mom is actually in the late night milk bar. So you can go there and watch this whole interaction of him talking to her and saying, here you go. Here's the letter. I had to give this to you. And she goes, okay, well, why don't you, take a load off and be happy? And he's like, I can't. Delivery has to be there for tomorrow. She goes, well, the moon's going to come down anyway. As official mayor duty, you are now relieved of your duty. There are no deliveries for tomorrow. And then he's like, now I can take off.
Mhm.
So as he leaves, if you follow him and talk to him before he leaves, you have to talk to him before he walks out of the gates of Clocktown and leaves the town. He will then say, I do not need this anymore. Here you go, and gives you his postman's hat. That's how we get that mask. And then I had a nice little picture of our hero wearing the mask. And oddly, there's that little dial I was talking about where it shows the time. So, and then the first is obviously the first day. So that's how we get the postman's mask. At this point, we have now seen every mask but the moon mask and the couple's mask. We do not have the sun's mask, but we have the moon, we have everything else so far. Besides the moon mask and the couple's mask. Cafe did take the sun's mask with him. So at the last 2 minutes, if you're waiting outside of the stock pot inn, at the last 2 minutes, that is whenever Cafe will come out or show up coming through the gate. He'll run upstairs to the stock pot inn to where Anju is waiting for him in her bedroom. You walk in there and you will see that she has this, and I couldn't find a good picture of it. I tried, but she will have this dummy kind of sitting there with her wedding dress on and her moon mask that she has made. So at this point, you can officially see what the moon mask looks up there. You can go up there and wait for Cafe if you want to. You can wait downstairs for Cafe. You can wait right outside the gate and follow him all the way in there. Your choice on what you want to do, because you actually get to see him running. It's not like one of those things where he's just magically there. You actually have to wait for him to get there, and he shows up at the last 2 minutes. He gets all the way up there and literally doesn't skip a beat. Like, she says, "Oh my God, I can't believe it's you." She's like, "That scent, the way your face looks." She's like, "I know you look younger, but I know it's you." And he's like, "I told you I wouldn't leave you alone. I told you I would be back. I'm sorry it took me so long. I'm here now." So they go and, do the whole hugging embrace, which is, a nice little sweet moment, which Tail then points out how funny it is because it actually looks like a mother and her son versus two lovers. But
Yeah.
yeah, just a little bit. And they go to exchange the mask, but whenever the masks touch each other, which someone I was watching, I completely agree, would have been cool if they called this the eclipse mask, but they didn't. Whenever the two masks eclipse, instead of them switching, it actually transforms into the couple's mask. And since Link was the witness at their wedding, they give you the couple's mask so that way you were the witness at their wedding. And that is how you obtain the couple's mask. You do not get the Sun and Moon mask. It's not part of the original 20, therefore you don't need it because technically they're that mask. I'm almost 100% sure that the couple's mask is upstairs on the dummy in the original version, and they give it to you as a present for reuniting them back together. And that's how you get the couple's mask in the original one. There is no Sun and Moon. I'm almost 100% sure about that. So, but once again, it's been a very long time. If I'm wrong, comment section below, let me know I'm wrong, and then tell me where to find this information because I looked and could not find it. You get to reunite them. They thank you for it. They give you the couple's mask, and then they both tell you to get out of there and to go somewhere to hide, that they are going to await the morning together. So, yeah. And that
So
is the end of the lovers story side quest.
so we don't actually get to know if he gets transformed back into what he is,
You
like,
don't
into
get to
his.
know, but the developers did say that that basically is what happens when you defeat Majora. All the curses that Majora cast over all
Mhm.
of Termina disappear when you defeat Majora,
Oh,
including
good, good, good,
Cafe
good.
being turned into a kid.
Good. That makes me happy. I have
So
no
yeah,
questions because that goes together well. There's obviously, I mean, plot points in various pieces of it, but
exactly.
it's a video game. Like, what do I expect?
Right.
I'm just heartwarmed. I'm heartwarmed and happy. The only thing that made me sad was actually two things: mom's trauma and that poor little Goron having to sleep
Have to
outside
sleep
because you
outside.
stole his room and you're not even going
You
to
don't have
use
to steal his
it.
room. You don't have to, but you can. If you do, you get 100
Oh.
rupees. So I strongly recommend stealing the room.
God,
But
I don't want to steal his room though. I'm gonna feel too bad if I play this game. I'm probably not doing it. I feel terrible.
but yeah, no, it's a nice little fun side story, especially in a game where everything is all doom and gloom because you have literally death staring you in the face for 3 solid days until it finally crashes down. So yeah, a nice little story. I thought it was very interesting for a game to be as old as this one was. Once again, Nintendo 64, that's like fucking early 1990s is when this game came out, I believe. uh Very interesting for um different aspects of the story being added in. The whole thing with Anju and her mom, that whole conversation going on the side, just how it ties in together with so many different masks, the blast mask, the group troop mask, all that fun stuff. Yeah, there was a lot of different things here that were pretty cool. So,
So, three quick questions. First, does um, Anju's mom ever see that he came back for her?
I mean, that's the guess. You don't actually see it yourself because once again, it happens in the last 2 minutes.
Okay. Then,
Yep.
second
That's kind
question.
of all left up to, maybe they all reunited at the festival after you take down Majora and
Okay.
stop the moon from crashing.
But
So
we don't actually know.
we don't
Okay.
know that. I'm pretty sure they do a quick cut scene of like everybody enjoying the festival at the end of the game, but they don't like specifically zoom. I do think they actually have like a quick couple seconds. I think it's like 2 or 3 where it shows adult uh cafe dancing with Anju at the wedding, or not the wedding, the ceremony, the
Ah,
carnival.
I love that. Okay, so how long is each day in this 3-day cycle? How long does that actually take in
So
real time?
in real time, I mean, I would probably say maybe an hour or two, probably real time. Like you have to really be on top of your like time priority maintenance here because not even just with this quest, just the game in general when going
Mhm.
through and doing these towers. So, like I said, this quest from start to finish takes you. You could probably finish this quest in about an hour, hour and a half playtime, like real lifetime. Would probably be how
Oh,
long it would take this to do this quest, an hour to an hour and a half. But it takes
oh,
all 3 days.
okay.
It
So
is
you
the
s
longest
hmm,
consecutive quest. The only other one that even comes close to this is the Romney Ranch one, and that ends on the night of the second day.
okay, so each
This
day is
leads all
only
the way
about 20 minutes, 20 to 30 minutes then?
somewhere around there. Yeah,
Okay, unless you
unless you slow it on time.
speed up or slow down time, and that's where
Yep.
things are gonna get funky. Okay,
Hmm.
so then my next question, are there any checkpoints at any point in time, or if you fuck up any part of this, for example, you accidentally hit a red switch and not a blue switch, you have to go all the way back to the beginning of those 3 days, don't you?
Yep. 100%. Yep. Yep.
Okay, so people rage
And that's
quitting
where
this
a
game suddenly
lot.
makes a lot more sense.
Exactly. That's where a lot of people gave up on this game because of the concept of time,
One
and how
one
brutal it was.
hit one red switch, scream fuck, throw your controller through the air, go for a walk. I can see
Well,
that happening.
you still have a chance to get to the mask. The point of it is being able to clear out the next rooms before it gets there. If you hit the red switch, it just speeds up the conveyor. You
Mhm.
still have a chance to get there because there's multiple red switches. So you can just keep hitting them. They'll just keep speeding up faster, faster, faster to the point where you're obviously not going to be able to make it.
Yeah.
So you just got to be able to hope that you can still clear through the room.
Okay. But this, it sounds like, is the only one that is like this, where it is like, buckle in, you're gonna be here and you're gonna be focused. Now, can you save in the middle of this? Like, if you start this quest and then you're just like, oh, shoot, dinner, drinks with the guys, or whatever, like, can you save and then come back? Or you can, wait, you told me this already. You can only save at the end of a 3-day cycle or and when the days switch over, right?
Right.
Ha ha
So,
ha.
or like, yeah, the save is you going back in time.
Yeah.
So once you revert back in time, then it saves the game and then moves forward, and you lose everything but your mask and your weapons.
So you
That's the only thing you
absolutely,
don't lose.
you have to do this when you
Hmm.
have a whole stretch of time to get it done.
You literally have to dedicate one solid 3 day run through to this specific quest. Yes.
That's probably why they didn't have you do multiple 3-day
Right.
quests, because that's a lot of time to just, like, focus in and not be able to
And
be.
just do one thing.
Yeah,
Right.
that's
Hmm.
hard. So, God, this I
But
mean,
you
this
got 3 masks
game.
out of it, so or 4 masks that you needed out of it. 2 masks that, like I said, they just compared, or they complete 1 mask, but you get 4 masks out of it. So it's not necessarily like not a payoff. 4 masks out of 20 that you need, like that's a significant chunk. So
Oh, no, it's huge. It's just, like, the realization you screw up anything and you have to go back, and the
right.
other thing that I'm thinking about is, I this game came out based on some of the polygons I've seen, before people would be using internet walkthroughs for the most part. So you have to figure this out on your own, meaning that your trial and error is going to be so much. It's your so much time is going to be wasted trying to make this quest happen.
Right.
Ho ha 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 ho ho. Shit.
Uh, no, actually, no. This game's actually released a little bit later than I thought. It was actually released in 2000, so right at the end of the
Oh, okay.
1990s.
So yeah, people would
So
be
yeah,
using walkthroughs
internet.
by then.
I would say internet walkthroughs were a thing. I don't know how common it would be because I know, like, whenever I was playing Majora, or not necessarily Majora's Mask, but Ocarina of Time for sure, I used an internet walkthrough because that's my main thing. I will not use a walkthrough to finish a Zelda game. I will use a walkthrough to get to the rest of the stuff. So whenever I play a Zelda game for the first time, because that was just like my main goal was like I will never use a walkthrough to get through Zelda until the story is completed and done, and I can be like, cool, I beat that one, and then go back and do all the extra stuff. I'm okay with looking up a walkthrough for.
Just
Don't know why.
do the
That's
part
just
that
kind of.
actually matters and
Mm-hmm.
prove that you were smart enough to make it through it, and then for
Right.
all the little hidden collectibles, that's where you can get more information.
Correct.
That's
Yep.
fair.
And I still do it to this day. Same thing with Breath of the Wild. That game took a long time, and it's a lot more open than these other games. Like, there's a huge fucking map to Breath of the Wild, huge fucking map. To where these are a lot more linear. It's like, yeah, you go outside of Clock Town, but it's like you could do a full circle in like 5 minutes real time, and you'll be able to see the entire map outside, just running around Clock Town, a full circle around Clock Town. Like they're just bam, 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 bam. Like it's literally four corners. That's it.
It's so
So
different.
yeah, to think about games back then and what they are now, it's fucking mind blowing. Like how far
Oh,
we've
yeah.
come.
Oh, yeah.
Mind blowing.
Do you have any other photos for me or other things you wanna share?
Nope, that would be it.
All right, that will do it for our 19th class on Zelda. If you enjoyed this content, please like and subscribe. I know I say that every time. That's because it's actually really helpful to us. Turn on notifications so you know when we have another class that comes up. Also, please come and interact with us in the comments below. Really, we genuinely like that. It lets us know you're watching the material. It lets us know what you think and what you care about and what you don't care about. It helps us make better content for you. Please comment. And then also, we have Twitter or Twitch links if you'd rather come and comment there. We would way, 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 way prefer that you comment on the videos, but we will interact
Yes.
with you however we can interact with you because that's actually the main priority, to be totally honest.
Yes.
We also have a Twitch link down there and or a merch link, excuse me. We have a merch link down there, and hopefully we will see you in the next class of Dead Funny University. Bye, friends.